Joe, one of the things that you said that's of interest as we were talking through this subject was that you see the similarities between outsourcing and in-house strategies. So we talk about a hybrid model, and you're saying, yeah, it certainly can be a hybrid model because there's so many similarities between doing something at a third party or perhaps doing it in-house. Those strategies can be similar. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Louis. And Evelyn had a great amount of comments there. And just to circle back on some of them, right? So The first one being the internal manufacturing strategy, whatever your internal strategy is, most importantly, it has to complement your external manufacturing strategy. So it's got to be holistic both ways, internal and external. If you're having issues on the external manufacturing piece, and there's a lot of challenges there, and you think just by internalizing that you're going to fix all your problems, your problem is probably not the case, right? You need to have a robust way of working externally that can then translate to what you want to do internally. The similarities between both, they're strikingly similar, really. Starting from just the beginning, R&D to your manufacturing teams, what that tech transfer might look like. Whether it's internal or external, you need to align on those expectations up front. Set up a playbook for what that tech transfer might look like. For the engineering batch, put together, some success criteria that you'd like to have met. And it's an engineering batch, so there needs to be some flexibility, but you at least have, a goalpost that you're trying to meet. And if you don't meet all the success criteria, that's okay too, but you at least then have some sort of foundation on which to make a strong risk-based decision before going into, say, a GMP manufacturer.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Todd, another thing Evelyn brought up that I'd like to ask you about is, and we're talking again about, what is your strategy, and is it a viable, logical one when it comes to, do we spend some money and build a facility that doesn't cost as much as it used to because of the nature of the products we're making now, or do we decide to put those financial resources with a partner external and hopefully save in some regards? Is it a strategy to say, you know what, we're having a tough time finding a real good partner nowadays, we better build internally? Is that a strategy? And I know that a lot of our audience are faced with difficulties today, as Joe said, with the thousands of people trying to get products through, and CDMOs trying to keep up with the advanced technologies, equipment, human resources, et cetera. What do you think, Todd? Is that a strategy? We're having trouble outsourcing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that to unpack, right? So Joe really hit it well right off of the set point, the beginning of this meeting. So there's capacity challenges because of COVID, right? And then there's tons of players if you look alone in the Boston area, I think there's at least 8 companies that are building facilities internally. So there's a demand on resources in the Boston area from that perspective. And there's probably even more that we don't know about. And then on top of that, then you've got the demands of all these companies then choosing their strategic model of insourcing or outsourcing, looking first, because typically, I would say in most cases, most companies still have a couple years to build, 1 or 2 years now to build these facilities. They have to outsource it at the beginning. And they're gonna do that. So you've got to balance and find a player out there that's going to be able to first fit your technology, right? So these advanced therapeutics have all different types of. You've got your CAR-Ts, your AAVs, and that's even in the gene space. There's even more in the cell therapeutic space, and so you've got to find a CMO with limited capacity as it is now that has your technology. Then some of the earlier, if it's coming from early academia, do you have centrifugations to get the empties and the fulls separated? And so there's a lot to that about facility fit, resources, scalability, cost. You have to take that all into consideration. And I think the last thing I'll just add, you also have to have a quality strategy too, because no matter what, if it's in-house or out-house, you have to have a quality management system. You can't just be virtual and rely solely on the CDMO. You have to build your own systems to show to the regulators that you have the proper oversight of those CDMOs. And so it's just as important in your operation strategy that you have a sound quality strategy when you take that hybrid approach to the facilities.